I've made the observation that Finland closed its borders with Russia, and they did this on the premise that the government of Finland was concerned that it was what they called a hybrid operation, tantamount to what they said was a soft invasion of the country. And what they did is that they closed the borders and redirected all of the citizens to declare themselves at ports of entry. My question, therefore, can the minister say to this House whether the government is currently contemplating a system where migrants who are undocumented will be required to present themselves to the authorities so that they can be properly registered, issued with the relevant documentation, and therefore, numerically, we will have an accurate count. I say this because in Region 10, for example, the statistics that were proffered suggest that there are no Venezuelans in Region 10. Now, I happen to be a Londoner and I know otherwise. And so there's clearly a disconnect between what we are saying in the House and what the reality is on the ground. And so my question is, how and what procedure will the government put in place to ensure that we have as accurate a count as possible, and whether this mandatory presentation of migrants to authorities to be duly registered is on the cards?
Honourable Minister. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I did say that the records that we have relate to persons who come to areas where they would contact immigration officers. And that in Linden itself, there isn't a place. It is not at the frontier or places where people come through. Say if people come through from the mouth of the Amazon, of the Orinoco, to Moruca or Perica, where they would be able to present themselves and be recorded and be given the appropriate ED cartridge information. So it is a bit different. There would be, of sure, perhaps, Venezuelans in Linden in Region 10 itself, who might have gone there for various other reasons. But in respect of what the question was asked for, I have given the answer already. In relation to people going to particular areas to be recorded on entering the country, those places already exist. We have, of course, as a cliche that our borders are porous and so on and so forth. We're making efforts to, and in fact we have to a certain extent through the ministry itself, set up little patrol groups going through areas to identify people and route them to areas where they can be properly documented. That work is ongoing. But as I said, we're not in similar circumstances as some other countries.
Mr. Speaker, I heard the Honourable Minister allude to a process. I am not sure that he'd answered my question, but I wanted to know, can the Minister advise whether, and I may have missed it, there have been any, for example, advertisements in the local news, a newspaper of wide circulation requiring Venezuelan migrants who may be undocumented to present themselves to authorities to be documented?
Honourable Minister of Home Affairs. There has not been, in the press itself, if I remember, any specific thing related to Venezuelan immigrants. We have said, and we have put out in our on social media and on our websites for the ministry, the request for people to come and be documented. And we put it out to those persons who are leaders or influencers in the various communities that they must come and document themselves. In fact, I would say that over the past 3 or 4 weeks, the amount of persons coming to be re-registered or to be documented again have increased perhaps tenfold.
Mr. Speaker, I want to be advised by the Honorable Minister whether there are any legal consequences that will attach to persons failing to present themselves to be registered.
Honorable Minister. Mr. Speaker, there are of course legal consequences. I want to remind the honorable member that we still have thousands of Guyanese who are still in Venezuela and in other places, and we should not be in a position where we seem to be going off any particular group, particularly with respect to this group at this time.